the timing was awesome on the smiles.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast that drinks and knows things. I am Luke. I am again joined for just about the last time that it makes sense to do this. Abby, Gertie of House Condescension, our first time watcher on the wall. Welcome back.
Hi. Good to be here. It's really good to be here tonight.
I bet you are officially no longer a sweet summer child.
I think I'm always going to be a sweet summer child. I don't want to give it up.
But I'm going to officially qualify you as a sweet winter child starting from now on. So
yeah.
So
I'm excited about that.
No, I am not still hungover. I am drinking water still. And I did spill beer all over the mixing board. I don't know if that was on stream or not. It probably was.
It was.
It works. It still works, but I did have to readjust all of the volumes and everything. So if we're off, please let me know in the chat. And anyway, let's get to it. We are talking about the season 7 finale, The Dragon and the Wolf. Be sure to check this podcast and all the podcasts at thepodcastthat.com out on Radio Public. It's free and easy to use, and they have an Android app and an iOS app, and guess what? They give us a slight kickback for every listen and new listener, so please check us out via podcast there if you haven't. And vice versa, if you only listen to us on podcasts, please check us out on YouTube, where we live stream all of our episodes, and you get to talk to us live while we're doing this. Like, everyone here, amazing people, they're so fun. But I'm going to go ahead and stop talking because Abby has a lot of thoughts on the largest Game of Thrones episode ever.
I think I need to take a big breath in because I don't know if I have enough time to get in all my thoughts.
All right.
I need like the auto commercial where at the end where they like take out all the breathing and it's just the talking really fast and you just keep going. Yeah.
So luckily we pre-recorded, Abby, and so I'm just going to truncate all of the silence, and so it's just...
Good luck, Abs, live here on YouTube to act like this is happening. So first off, I noticed like right in as we get into the episode, it seems like there's a Reigns / Danny's theme song mashup, which I'm a huge fan of a mashup. So that was cool. And yeah, mash. And
it was a Targaryen mash. It was a King's Landing smash.
Ooh,
I'll work on that for when we record the regular episode.
I know. Last episode, I said I was working on a parody. Don't get me started on another one. Come on now. So, Danny comes, strong show of force. They're all there. Like, we have the Unsullied standing there, and this is a huge army. And then, if that wasn't big enough, here, let's put the Dothraki running in behind it. I'm like, holy cow, there's certainly a lot of people. And then we're just going to jump kind of to the meeting because there's a lot that happens in this episode. So, from my count, we have for the Lannister side, Cersei, Jaime, Qyburn, Euron, the Mountain, Bronn, the Lannister army, Queen's Guard, and Pod, who Bronn and Pod kind of aren't at the meeting, but they're on the walk up.
Pod wouldn't be on that side, though. He would be with Brienne.
Oh, he would be. Sorry. Okay.
I had him. Buddy, we'll get into that, but
yeah, you're right. I actually switched him because I was like, hold on, wait. He needs to be up here. I did all my notes in pencil so I could do these things, and I messed it up. Always go with your first choice, people. Your gut is always right. So then for, we got the Dany side. We have Dany, Tyrion, Jon, Davos, Brienne, and Pod should have been in there still. Theon, Jorah, Grey Worm, Missandei, Sandor, Varys, Drogon, the Dothraki, and the Unsullieds. So I feel like we have like 5 people, maybe we can count. 4. We'll count 4 for Cersei. And then there's like 9, 10. Like she had one little tent, and the other side had 2 pop-up tents. So, I mean, if that says something.
And I think you're supposed to take it as, yeah, they're very outnumbered. And that's kind of what it's been. There's been some Lannister victories, but at the end of the day, when all is said and done, They're way outmatched, like numbers
Yes.
wise.
Mhm. So the meeting, for lack of better terms, is a little intense. And they were intense.
That was
Sorry.
that was
That was
intense.
terrible. That was terrible. But, and as Danny makes her, like, grand entrance, I think Cersei has, like, that primal threat that it's just terrible. It is, like, and if I say this and you disagree with me, I love you so much. Inherent in women, like, there's a younger, prettier, or, like, a threatening female, and not only is Danny pretty and young, which already makes you kinda do the mean girl hate thing, which you shouldn't do, but, eh, when your house or your power is being attacked, I kinda understand it, but then she also has a formidable army, she's smart, people are, like, willingly following her, like, yeah, that's awkward.
Would you like me to
So
disagree with you, or
no, I'm just saying if there's, like, girls in the chat that are like, "No, I don't see it like that." Dude, I love you because that's the way it should be,
it's
but
yeah,
it really should
guys
be.
do it
It
too.
shouldn't
I
be.
mean, it's more prevalent in pop culture for women to do it. How's that?
Yes. The
It's
threatening
more of a
of
stereotype for women to be that
yes,
way.
exactly, which I dislike, but whatevs.
You dislike
My
women,
next
or you dislike the stereotype?
both. On no, I'm just kidding.
Both completely equally. Let's be fair.
Yeah,
No.
just be I hate all them bitches, but no, I'm just kidding. Uh, no, like, my serious point about this meeting is Sandor has this box on his back. Okay, folks, we need to rethink. We need to rework this box. That's fun. Fuzzies. I've never eaten there. Um, like he's got these tiny little straps on this gigantic box that's way too long. His angle is all.
Get this man some wheels. Like, get a
I,
dolly. They've got Tyrion, who's
I,
literally made things like that.
I, I don't get it. We couldn't just put him in a sack. Like that would be better. So that that's whatevs, right? And let's see, where do we go from here? Then we get to the like we see Sandor kind of wake up the thing earlier on in the
Mm-hmm.
episode, and then
In
he
the
kind of
boat.
has to like wake him up again. Um, but my question is, last time we spoke about the Night King or a White having to like control them.
We did.
So I just think it's weird that this thing is like asleep or still alive. Like somebody is still warged, I guess, into this White so that he can be alive and show all these people. Otherwise, if they weren't, per our last, or at least my understanding of it or how I feel, that wouldn't have happened. He would have just been a dead body. Like, so strange that it seems to me that the Night King wants everybody to see this threat, possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Or there could be. It doesn't have to be full control all the time. There could be once it's reanimated. There could be multiple things going on. It
right,
could be reanimation and then warging on top later on.
right.
We don't really know.
Yeah. It's
But
like just
could also be just inherent autopilot that's
that's what I,
still available.
yeah,
It's a good question.
I'm not exactly sure. I'm not going to like put a hard, this is
I'm not
exactly what I
exactly
think.
sure either.
Yeah, because I'm like, but how does this? I'm
I
so
just don't want to
lost. I'm
spoil
so
anything for you.
confused.
I don't want.
Thanks. Hey, I'm at the end now. Spoil away. John explains that these whites can be killed with dragon glass or fire. Am I Did I misunderstand something? Does Valyrian still not kill the whites or just the White Walkers?
So I don't know if we've seen it specifically take out a white.
That's what.
I know for sure the White Walkers consistently
Right.
have been taken out by Valyrian steel. I right now cannot think of a specific instance because I thought that too earlier when I was
Yeah.
driving home and that scene was on.
Right.
But yeah, I mean he's very clear right here that it's dragon glass and fire.
And
Those are the
fire.
two
So
specifically.
I didn't know if I just like misunderstood that earlier on and Valyrian steel was just for the White Walkers, or if it could be used for all of them, but he's holding that piece of information back, um, maybe to safeguard the people to select swords so they're not going, people aren't trying to steal them. um, in panic. But I did think it was, I don't know, it something he held back if in fact they can use it. And then I found it funny. I don't really know if it was meant as funny, but I found it really funny when Danny was like, "Hey, yeah, I didn't believe in those guys either until I saw them. See, we're finding common ground. It's like we're best friends." And everybody's like, there's no connection on this. I don't know where we go.
There are definitely times where Danny doesn't seem to really people all that well. This may have
Yeah,
been like she went to home she was homeschooled. She
yeah.
she
For
was
those
very
kids.
sheltered growing up.
Yeah,
Lived
but
out
it
in the
was just,
wilds.
oh man, like we're just alike. See, common ground, guys. I didn't believe either.
Like is like. Like is like.
I know. So I thought it was funny. I giggled. Um, and then Cersei gets the hard no from John, which I expected nothing less. And John's stance on false promises, you know, I just respect that. I get that there's a time for what people like to call politicking. That's fucking lying, folks. Like if you have a straight up issue with Danny burning people or this is an issue I have with politicking, even as Tyrion, it's lying. Like and that's not okay. Not with me. Apparently burning people's just fine, but don't lie to me or I'll burn your ass.
There
So
are simple rules to
there are
humanity.
simple rules. I think Jon Snow for president. And then we got Brienne with the big F bomb drop. Fuck
Yeah.
loyalty. Like
The first time,
that
right?
was again like I don't know. I have this like I think everybody has a gray line of morality. Like certain situations, it's all relevant, right? Um,
It's all relative.
yes. So here it makes sense because it's just a shocking thing to hear out of her voice, out of her because she's so loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Her sword is called Oathkeeper. Like she just that is her. It's not even like, oh, she really believes. No, like that is her. When I see her, she's like the most loyal thing in the whole world. I want her to be my BFF. And she's even at the like
She's a ride
she
or
has
die bitch.
well, yeah, she is ride or die. That's why I love her. But like
And I
she
mean
has
that
lost
with love.
yeah. She's lost her mind about this. So yeah, like it is looking bleak. So, we've got her jumping loyalty
Because that's
ships.
the first
Not
time
really.
she's seen a white too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
this is new to her. And so she's like, we both just saw that. What the fuck? Like,
I know. Like,
really? Like, really?
am I the only one here that's not absolute like whatever? So Tyrion goes to talk to Cersei. I really liked this whole scene with them, the two of them. Um, I think, you know, Tyrion says, like stops her and he says, I don't care. I don't care if you believe me. I loved them. And she kind of has nothing further to say about that. And Tyrion gets questioned about Danny and he's like, because like she's good. I believe in her, whatever. And she's gonna make the world a better place. And Cersei kind of gives him like you just told me she was gonna burn King's Landing. Well, true.
It
But
warranted, but I'm also here she's smart enough to
bring her
pick a
back.
voice of reason
Yeah,
as her hand. Unlike
exactly.
you.
I'm like nothing. Yeah. So, you know, I just thought, all in all, like the first, I don't even know if this has like just like gold being thrown out of my TV at me for this. I wasn't counting, but this whole this huge scene here, the meeting, whatever. I'm sure I'll talk about a little bit of it because it plays later on too. A little bit was super cool to me. I really liked it. I like that Danny, once she is talking to John, like she is like, "Why did you do that? I'm glad for your loyalty, but you know my dragon died for this, and if you just ruined it here, then that was for nothing." And then she kind of softens to it because she uses empathy to like understand his decision, and instead of just being like, okay, I understand what you did, like she respects that. So I really like Danny. um
He's just a normal ass fucking person in a tough
Like,
spot trying to do a good
decent.
job.
She's working through it, and, like, she has a
A little bit of
decent
crazy, but to be an effective ruler, I think you have to have that weapon at least, right?
I think a little bit of crazy goes a long way,
It
okay?
does. Effective crazy.
Yes, effective crazy. And we'll just throw it out there, your family is still here, you're still here. Um, Whoever told you that, Mary Mazdor, not a reliable source. John, I've been thinking that every time she says,
I think
"I can't have
I
children.
think you've
These are
been
the
saying that since
only
about
children
season
I've
2.
ever had."
You're like,
Yeah.
huh.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is the bitch that literally like did all this to you. Like,
Yeah. And so I watched another show, and I think it's from that one, but I'm not exactly sure. But one time there's a whore somewhere who's like, "Oh, I can tell you what you can do so you won't get a squeaker." And so every time somebody's talking about like not necessarily wanting a baby or whatever, that's how it comes in my head. So I'm like, Danny, you're gonna get a squeaker for sure. Um, yeah. And then Cersei comes back with Cersei is joining them, and I just have in my notes, what is going on? Okay, sure. Now Cersei, because she talked to Tyrion, is going to join them. Sure. Okay.
did you buy it?
Sounds good. I questioned it, but I was like, okay, well, Cersei is smart, and she showed us, like, this is the smartest decision for them right now. Why go against them, especially after seeing that and what we know? So I guess, like, yeah, I guess I kind of bought it, but I was just like, this is not in her wheelhouse. This is crazy. Um, and then I'm just gonna follow my notes here because this is where it kind of gets nuts. We move to the north, and we have the Microfinger and Sansa are talking and about surrendering the Northern Crown. And all I wrote down was like, "This is so frustrating to be listening to. Like, I'm so
It's
frustrated."
it's really really harsh, isn't it, to listen
It.
to?
I'm just, like, and that's my little note. It's so frustrating. I'm so frustrated. And Microfinger at one point, my note is, she's your little sister. You know her better than anyone else. And he avoids answering the question. And I just feel like immediately, like, his angle is just to let Sansa's imagination run wild, because your imagination is usually worse than reality. And he's just playing this little game. And I'm getting real pissed off up north, getting real angry. Um, and then he kind of does his little game where he says, I always think, like, what do they want? And it comes to, she wants to be Lady of Winter. And this is where I'm like,
Talking about
but it's
Arya.
Arya. Yeah. Like, that was like what the conclusion Sansa came to, but she wants Lady of Winterfell. And I just, like, Arya would never want to be Lady of Winterfell. Arya doesn't want to be Lady of fucking anything. Like,
She
she
wants to be a
doesn't want
boy.
to.
She literally wants to be a dude,
She
like her
wants
whole
to be
life.
what she is
Right,
right
right.
now. She doesn't want to be. So at this point, I'm like, Sansa, you know this. Like, she is not after your job. And not that I think the Lady of Winterfell, because we've seen some cool aspects of, her out there making good decisions and whatever. But to Arya, it's being cooped up at home. It's doing her needlepoint. It's all those things that she doesn't want to do. So, like, Sansa, you know this. And then and we find out that they're going, John and Danny decide to go on a romantic cruise back home together. Cute.
Bermuda,
Um,
Bahama.
mhm. Theon in this episode is probably my favorite Theon thing I've ever seen.
Pretty good scene,
Um,
I thought.
yeah, and John telling him, I can't forgive you for all of it, but for what I can, I do. And
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't love him? Like, he's just like,
You
you're just
mean
like,
John?
man,
John there?
yes, John. Like, he's so level-headed, empathetic, without being weak ever. Like, basically, like, the best of the best, the guy who walks around campus or whatever, and you're like, God, why can't I be him? Why can't I be her? I suck. Like, he's just so good, and I think Theon does feel that around John. So
He even says
I
you
hope,
were always right. Like even
yeah,
when we were little, you were always right.
yep. And I really hope that Theon sees this through. Whether he dies in trying, he doesn't succeed. I just hope he doesn't punk out. Like, that's all I hope for him. Okay, so then we go to the hall scene with Microfinger,
Mm-hmm.
and then, it says, she says, "Bring my sister to the great hall." I'm like, "What the" Someone said, "No, ladies." That's my note. "Ladies, no." Like, no. And
Like,
then
if this is the way it really goes,
yeah,
it was
and
bad the whole time, but it just ended up being bad.
right,
Like,
and I'm just then, like, my next thing is just like, "Oh my gosh, the games you play, it's amazing." Like, it was super I guess you could see it coming. I was really getting I was just so frustrated at those 2, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on here?" They got me. I can't be like, "Oh, I saw it coming." Like, I was hoping at some point we would get to this point.
Lord Baelish.
Yeah, I know. It was just like
Oh,
that.
excuse me.
But
I thought I misheard you.
yeah, like, "Oh, did you need clarification? Can I get you to teach you?
Did you need help
What?"
pronouncing the sentence? That's
Right.
one of my
"Can I change
things.
my accent for you or what?" Like,
Shanja.
um, and then he's like, "I'm confused." And I wrote, "I'm confused too, but I'm cool with it." Like, I'm good.
Right now,
So,
I'm gonna go with confusion, and I'm good with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I'm fine. Um, I wrote down earlier too, I was like, "Man, I can't wait for Sam. I really want Sam to get to Winterfell." And then, hey, he comes. And Bran tells him, "I became the three-eyed raven." And Sam's like, "Oh." Like, just
I don't know what that is, but I am
oh.
listening. I'm here to
Yeah.
support you. Like, I'm good with it.
Yep.
Just no
And
idea.
I feel like Sam getting to Winterfell is
Winterfill H in the chat.
Phil. Yes. Phil H. Winter Phil H in the chat. Um, I like that guy. He's cool.
He's a good guy.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah,
he's okay.
yeah, halfway decent is what we like to call him back over here.
Acceptable friend of the show.
He can stay. Um, but Sam getting there feels like a homecoming. It feels like the last Stark is almost home. And I get it just feels like the team, but more than the team, like this little family unit that kind of all needs to be there once John gets back and Danny gets back are there. And that's really, really exciting for me.
It's like the sibling revival with all their best friends
I
there
know
too.
that would be great. Um, mm, and we find out that he's Aegon Targaryen. So he gets a first name.
Mm.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Strong. He's the rightful king by all of Danny's arguments.
Mm-hmm.
Complicated.
Right as the
Okay.
scene that we're seeing is like going
Plays
on.
through, right? I did wonder. So the way the scene is shot, like he kind of knocks on the door. And we kind of get this information. And then the next thing, like they're just naked and going at it, which, you know what? Surprisingly, I'm kind of just cool with. That's fine. Sounds good to me. Whatevs. Like at this point, Game of Thrones, you have just kind of trained me to be like, it happens. So I'm not really worried about
I
who
mean,
his
everyone just wears one layer where it's just button, and you're naked.
right. But I want to know, like, what did the conversation, like, was there a
You think
conversation?
there was
Was he,
conversation?
was
I
he
mean,
in like a trench coat? Like he just came in and was like,
that's what I'm saying.
hello.
Everyone's there
I
just like, all right, we'll do it.
know,
All right,
like,
I'm ready.
how did
Literally,
this
I'm ready.
I want to know how they went from googly eyes to sex eyes.
Gooey
Like,
eyes.
yeah, gooey eyes.
Goo.
And then we're back at Winterfell and we have the sisters talking, and this was just like, ah, there we go. And you realize the whole time that they were letting Microfinger play them while they played him, while he played them, while they played him. Something. I don't really know. It's
Mhm.
kind of like that.
It's kind of like that.
It's kind of like that.
I like to think
So
as soon as like that reunion of all three of them happened,
that,
it was pretty much all set in place to where Bran was like, "Oh yeah, and also he killed Dad." Like,
yeah. Oh,
oh,
you should know this.
that like changed everything. That's how I
Right.
see it. And there was like, "Oh well, let's go ahead and
That
get everything together."
I was surprised that it didn't happen like that. So I didn't understand. Like, Bran, I get that you have no emotions, but you should be smart enough, not even emotionally. No, they want to, like, you should just be intelligent enough. This is information that this robot needs. So let me give it to them. We'll
Beep,
just
bop, boop.
output it. Boop, boop, boop. Yep. Yes, you want that. So exactly. And they're sitting there talking and they do their, oh man, I can't even think of the actual quote. That's gonna kill me that I can't. But the
The
lone wolf dies.
but the pack survives.
Okay, so as Sansa is saying that, I literally got goosebumps, and I've heard that before. I've always thought it was like a super cool.
Have they not said it in the show before? I thought they had early
Uh,
on.
I think I think they
I
have.
think
I've
yeah.
definitely heard it, at least in the
Yeah, I
books
think.
somewhere.
Well,
But
obviously Ned says it to her, but I don't remember if
yeah,
they actually show it in the show. Eh, we're
yeah,
usually drunk
but
when we talk about this. So
yeah. So I
we're not here to be reliable.
and so I just thought, just like delivering it right there after you realize, like, no, they are Team Stark, so that's cool. And this is the winter, and they are working for survival.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, ah, and I don't know, something about it gave me those goosebumps. I loved it.
And speaking
Um,
of winter, winter has fallen officially as well.
it's spring.
I'm even in King's Landing. Winter has fallen
Oh, fallen,
with
like you're saying there.
the
Yeah,
yeah
the snow. I saw that. Not Maisie Williams, Sophie Turner. Is that
yeah
was drinking beers at a Rangers game?
yeah
Oh yeah,
full
she's
glass
my
of
kind of
wine.
girl. Yeah.
Just
Oh
pounds
yeah,
it.
wine. That's why I was like, I even love her more.
Yeah, that was pretty
So
awesome.
yeah, she was pretty cool. Then we go to what I would assume is Eat Swatch.
There was the quick scene with Jamie um, leaving Cersei
Oh, leaving. Yeah,
first.
because so yeah, my notes don't follow that because I had this whole thing going, does Jamie stay or leave? But now I'm just pretty convinced that my pro con list is just out the window and he's gone. So that was a waste of time. But yeah, he's gone. Like,
Yeah, we don't really need to dwell on it. I just wanted to point it
yeah,
out that
yep,
that was
which
one more thing.
is super exciting. Like, I'm glad you did because
And
that's
that's why I
super
was saying
exciting.
that it was because it shows it's snowing on
Yep,
King's Landing as he's leaving, and then it jumps
yep,
to Eastwatch, I
yep.
believe, from there.
And that like conversation between those two, and the fact that she used Euron as like strategy. Like I think Jamie would always understand if she had to marry him or whatever later on.
As long as he
Fine.
was involved enough to feel like she actually gave a shit about him at all.
But he just became too much of a pawn. Like he realized it, and we like he just fundamentally cannot support her anymore. So I I love it. Good job, Jamie. So then we go to Eastwatch, and I think it's Eastwatch. We were like
Mhm,
right at the end of it.
mhm.
It looks like the Titanic. The wall does. Does anybody else get that? Like
Yeah, the way
it's like yeah.
it's
It,
very
it
boaty.
yeah, it looked like the Titanic to me. And then
Didn't
we
help that it,
see
said Titanic on the side of it.
yeah, right? And had the stacks going up.
Smokestacks.
Not enough
4 of
fucking
them.
lifeboats. What the hell, Titanic Eastwatch? So first I'll just mention the horse the Night King's riding on. It looks so cool.
The horse
The
that
horse
the
the Night
Night
King is
King.
riding
Are you
on.
talking about the dragon?
Nope, not the Night King. Oh, White Walker.
Yeah, I'm
You're
pretty
right.
sure the
It's
horse
not the Night
is
King.
actually
Nope, no,
called a
nope.
dragon this time.
Nope. It's the first guy. I was
Yeah,
just because
kind of
he was leading it.
the Cross Your Son's second in command, as far as we can tell.
Yes. Yep. General number 2. Ever watch the Lego movie? You're fired. General number 3. You're now General number 2. It's super funny. He fires him into a volcano. It's really awesome. But that horse, anyways, is really awesome looking.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they like kind of walk out and there's a ton of them. And we see Tormund, like everybody needs to run. And then we see giants and the dragon, and he just burns on the wall.
Did he? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
At least enough of a big breach.
That wall is burnt.
Is it?
I don't really know if it's burnt
See,
because it's
there.
out,
That is a good question.
but it's down.
It is down regardless, and that is
Oh
something
my
we can
god.
unpack in a future episode.
So, that kind of brings us to the end of the episode, which, hey, we're not doing too bad on time. I'm surprised because this is like a super jam-packed episode.
Super space jam pack.
Super Space Jam. Welcome to the Space Jam.
All right.
I don't even want to ask. Does Dortmund, can he survive this?
So we'll see you guys on.
I'm freaking out right now. I don't know. Like, he's like, oh, let's run. And then there's like fire kind of coming through here. And then it all just, I don't, maybe it's one of those like space time continuums and we'll just see him and it'll be cool. But I kind of feel like he can't get out of that.
Well,
I don't know.
Guess
I
what?
mean,
They have to have some things for us to speculate in the year and a half
oh
that
my
it's
gosh.
been. So,
Okay, so if
the answer
everything like
is
that last
we'll discuss
two,
it in speculations when we get there as a group,
perfect,
because
perfect,
that's all we can really do at this point.
we're getting there.
I don't even mean your speculations, because we're gonna do speculations of
I
the whole
know.
group, because your speculations don't mean shit anymore. All of us
Yeah, they do.
are at the same level.
I know. Sorry, I still have predictions because I've actually written them down. John and Danny have a baby. Sam and Gendry. This I've already said this one, but still moving forward, I'm gonna stick with it. Sam and Gendry forge new Valyrian steel, and like together, and make amazing obsidian weaponry. And I was wondering, what happened to Hodor?
That's a very
Like, did he? Did we see him like incinerated with the fire that was? But he was holding the door.
We just saw him holding the door. He might
Yeah,
still be holding the door.
he could. I think we're gonna see a whited Hodor. I think we are. It's gonna be sad.
Maybe.
And I think we're gonna see a whited direwolf.
Maybe.
Maybe. I do have one more question, and then we can let you all dismiss for recess. Preme la pose. I don't even know if that's the actual way to say it. Preme la pose. I don't really know if that's the actual way you say it in French, but it was the only thing I remember from French class, and I'm pretty sure it means, can we take a break? It probably means like, you're a twat, and people just said it at me, but I'm pretty sure it means, can we take a break? Dragons, in my understanding of dragons, which I've realized is all from How to Train Your Dragon, is
completely valid.
yeah, it's a good show, man. Yeah, and movie, but they're like resistant to fire. So is fire going to work on the whited dragon? I think not.
They're not. They are resistant. They are not impervious to fire. So that, yeah.
Okay.
What you said was
All right.
correct.
All right.
It's a good question.
I think we're gonna need the scorpion with some obsidian arrows. That's gonna be the only way.
Maybe. All right. Save the rest of them for the full group specs.
But I have 5,000. Like, they just.
Yeah. Guess what? Now you're actually. Like, people care what you're gonna guess, other than just making fun of you when you're very wrong.
I know.
No, it's truly. I'm surprised you were as adamant and strong-willed in your ability to stay unspoiled this whole time, and it's people appreciate it. I don't, but people do. But we are.
I appreciate the chat being so adamant, like, yes, for me. Like,
yeah,
that's.
No, it's the support you've gotten has been incredible. The mods protecting you has been incredible.
More supportive than any jockstrap out there, folks.
There you go. Jockstraps and sports bras. All right. So that's going to wrap up Gertie's initial thoughts. We will see you sometime this weekend for our main episode. We're going to have a few guests with us. You'll have heard of them or know them all. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we will discuss what we're going to do in our 2-week break that we have before before season 8 starts. I felt like it was forever ago that season 7 ended. But
man, me too. I have like so long to wait till season 8. This is bullshit.
I know. Now, see, that's the thing. People are gonna be pissed off at just you had to wait 2 fucking weeks. God damn it.
This is gonna be torture, guys. I should be able to watch it Saturday night. This is
If this is
ridiculous.
torture, chain me to the wall. All right. So become a patron to get our access to our Slack chat where all of us reside permanently. We actually just live in Slack. You can learn more about that at patreon.com/stayimaginary. For all of the ways you can help keep our beer bank full, please check out the podcast.com/support us. A huge special thank you. Oh, that's just Abby and me. Thanks, us. And follow us on Twitter at No One Drink. Send us a digital raven to noonedrink@gmail.com. Subscribe, like, rate, leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. And a reminder or a heads up, because I probably didn't say anything. The original Luke, Ben, and Glenn initial live with everything thoughts is going to actually go live again, go public. I think it's at 9:45. I might up that because I was expecting we'd be doing this at 9 o'clock, but I got out of work early.
Yay!
Thank God. 18-hour workday the other day. That was rough. Anyway, until next time.
As always, I still don't know, so I'll just drink.
And as always, stay imaginary.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.